IVM.
Welcome to another week on IVM. It's been a great week. If you aren't following us on social media, please make sure that you are. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. On Cyrus Says this week, Cyrus is joined by actor and comedian Gaurav Gera. They talk about Gaurav's journey in showbiz and the inspiration behind his Shopkeeper Behenji sketches. On Simplified, Naren and Srikat are joined by guests Avanti and Zain from the Marvel's Lost and Found podcast. On Geek, Tejas and Jishnu give their take on Ant-Man and the Wasp and discuss the future of the Ant-Man verse. I'm really looking forward to that. That was a great movie. On Varta Lab, last week, founder of IVM himself, Amit Doshi. Hey, that's me. Talked to Akash and Naveen about being Amit Shah's doppelganger, my journey so far, and how he started an IVM podcast. I'm sorry if that grammar was twisted. On Keeping It Queer this week, we have the producers of Vice's latest web series, Sex Rated. And with that, let me take you on to your shows.
Hey everybody, welcome to a special episode of the Geek Fruit Bulletin. Usually our news/not news, episode every week. But this time, since we were on the topic of, two topics. Ant-Man and the Wasp recently released and we reviewed in this week's main episode, which you can check out. But we decided to take the themes of Ant-Man and the Wasp and talk about two sets of movies. It's not really a genre because there are not enough movies in each of them. We can't even find that many in each category. What are the categories? Jishnu, hi, by the way.
Hello.
What are the categories?
Father-daughter.
Father-daughter movies. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Of which there are a few.
There are a few, but not in our category.
Not in the science fiction realm, not too
Yeah.
much. The other category
is our favorite one. Favorite new category, by the way.
It is new because there are just no examples of
What's the
this
category?
Man-woman.
Man-woman? What does that mean?
Where there is a man and a woman.
But there are plenty of man movies in romantic comedies,
In romantic
etc.
comedies, but in the realm of like action or science fiction
Like
or anything
sidekicks.
nerdy.
Not sidekicks, but equal
pegging.
Equal pegging.
There's usually a man and there is a woman.
Yeah.
But the man is whoa far above the woman.
Yeah.
Or, in the case of Tomb Raider or other female-led
Which
movies,
are not as many.
there is a
yeah.
man,
Yeah.
but he is far below said woman.
Actually, Tomb Raider doesn't even have a real... But oh god, Tomb Raider's terrible. The movie is terrible. Sorry, guys. But anyway.
So the thesis is, the man-woman franchise has been neglected.
Yes.
And Ant-Man and the Wasp did a very good job of representing.
Both of them,
and having
yes.
two examples of our species from either gender.
Yes. Either chromosome.
Well played.
Yes.
I see what
Because we're going to be non-binary about this. But we'll just talk about man-woman for the sake of the genre.
Sure.
Yeah.
So there aren't enough.
There aren't enough. So let's tackle father-daughter first. What
Okay.
movies do we have in father-daughter?
So besides my beloved Father of the Bride and Father of the Bride Dos, which is far superior. Just as an immediate knee-jerk answer, anytime somebody says a sequel is never better.
So in
Father of the Bride Part 2.
Father of the Bride Part 2, he's grandfather of the bride, right?
He at the end, spoiler alert.
Oh shucks.
At the very, very end.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So what are the other movies? Are there any movies which are like father-daughter? Apart from Interstellar, which was the first one and the only one actually that came to mind instantly, because it's about Matthew McConaughey and it's about, Jessica Chastain, who are basically, separated by time, because there's a whole time travel element in it. And they ultimately meet each other through the Tesseract. I mean, one influences the other through the Tesseract. But, there's a lot of time jumps. But it's cool. I dig it. It's a good movie.
It was fun.
I really liked it because it's not a perfect film, but it's very ambitious. And in the way that only Chris Nolan can be.
Yeah. It was a one watch for me.
What?
Yeah.
Dude,
it was fun.
I think you should
was
watch
fun
it
while
again.
it lasted.
I think you should watch it again.
I don't have the patience.
No, I can't. I don't have the patience for Dunkirk, I think.
Definitely no.
Wow.
We've talked about this. We did a review on that thing.
Yeah.
I did
But
not.
Interstellar
I didn't have a good time.
is good. You know what? I didn't like Interstellar the first time I watched it. I didn't think it was that great. And then I saw it again and I saw the vision that he wanted to kind of... So I think and it works as a good father-daughter story as well. All right. Next.
The polar opposite end is Taken.
Taken. I was voting for this to not be in this because...
So I think it should, simply because they did it so many times. They're like, guys, this father-daughter thing, it's real. It's so real, I'm going to do this several times over.
Yeah, to think of, to think that this entire franchise was born out of one line from Batman Begins, where he says, he tells him on the ice while they're on the ice, he's like, I had a family once. They were, pause for deadpan into camera, taken from me. And that's the exact line, everybody. Yeah, it's true. You don't believe me? Just watch that movie again. Tell me it wasn't born out of that line. But anyway, why do you think it's a father-daughter movie when the daughter's clearly not capable of holding her own in the film?
Oh, no, but she's capable of holding her own, but especially in the second one, when she decides to go gallivanting across Europe against her father's best wishes.
And to watch U2, right?
Yeah, literally. Literally going on tour to watch U2. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Power to you. So it is only because it's a plot device, which is, again, more than we can say for most movies in our realm that deal with this issue. It's just not a thing.
Yeah.
It's not a thing. The other example that we have is... oh my goodness.
Oh, it's gone?
It's gone.
I have one example, which is actually a good example of it.
Oh.
It's a TV show called 24. I don't know if you ever saw it.
I saw the first season.
Yeah. So as the seasons go by, Alicia Cuthbert's role, who plays Jack Bauer's daughter, she gets more and more of a role. She joins CTU, the counter-terrorist unit.
Whatever happened to her?
Not sure. I think she's doing some stuff. Yeah.
You were saying?
Yeah. So great example of a good father-daughter duo. I think that's it was decent. Yeah. Any other father-daughters that come to mind again?
What about...
I have one more actually in mind.
What about a little franchise called Star Wars?
This is true.
What about that?
Wait, who's the father and daughter?
One...
Are we just talking about Darth Vader and Princess Leia? Because they have the least amount of interaction for being a father and daughter. It's mostly about the father and the son.
It is mostly about the father and son, but the daughter is the one that creates the plot.
Sure, yeah, she starts the film.
She's the one that is actually gets anything done in the first movie. She's the hero of the first movie.
So I will say, okay, let's put it this way. Star Wars has a father and daughter who do separate things, which are both great, but independent of each other.
It's like the father and the son behave like, spoiled boys, butting heads again.
And Leia's just rolling her eyes.
Exactly, on the side rolling her eyes. And she's the one, at least in the first movie for sure, she's the one that gets...
It's a classic sibling rivalry where Leia just goes to Darth Vader and says, I know you love him more than you love me. That's what it is, actually, a sibling rivalry. But anyway, there is a great a kid's comic book called Vader and Son is the first book. And then there's Vader's Little Princess. And then they had both of them in a combined comic by Jeffrey Brown. Very good. Last one, which is a slightly indie pick, which is a movie called Hannah. I don't know if you've seen it.
Nope.
It's a guy who made Pride and Prejudice and also Atonement. Joe Wright, he's a really good director. He also did that movie with Jamie Foxx and Robert Downey Jr. called The Soloist.
Yeah.
So he
Did
made
you see
movie.
that, The Soloist?
I did not. No.
Right.
I muted it. Huh? Am I right? Technical joke. But
keep going.
But yeah, I did watch this movie called Hannah, which is really, really good. It stars Saoirse Ronan, I want to say, and Eric Bana. And Eric Bana is this ex-KGB, I think, agent. He basically he's gone rogue and he lives in the Siberian kind of wilderness and he's raised a daughter. And he was this crazy hitman, basically, back in the day. But he's raised his daughter in this very Bon Iver kind of setting. And
wait, which Bon Iver
first album
iteration are we talking?
The entire first album happened because he went to the mountains and he just in this cabin.
And the new album also happened for the same reason.
Pretty much, yeah. But and he raises his daughter whose name is Hannah and is played by Saoirse Ronan, and she is the ultimate killing machine at the age, she's basically a teenager. And it's awesome because they finally find him and she goes on the run trying to get him back. And she just basically exacts vengeance upon everybody and it's got Cate Blanchett in it, and it's great. It's a great movie.
This is hilarious because that's very similar to another movie in our realm that I just thought of.
Which is?
Logan.
Great father-daughter movie. Wow, how did we not miss this? I mean, how did we almost miss
Which
this?
also reminded me of...
Yes?
Ragnarok.
Yeah,
Hela.
Right? Well, Odin is not there.
He's not there in it, but I mean, it's dealing with the fallout of bad choices made by father-daughter
so then
relationship.
This is like Star Wars again.
Exactly. I'm picking at straws. Look, the thesis is there aren't enough.
There aren't enough.
That's what we're getting at.
So Logan is actually the top runner for this.
Yeah,
that's
Logan
great.
is awesome in that father-daughter thing.
Yeah, it wins
handles beautifully.
Wins the father-daughter category, if I'm not mistaken. In the sci-fi,
the movie keeps winning. Anytime it gets brought up, it just wins.
Man, I really have you caught the black and white edition of it? I really want to download that.
I did rewatch it. I did rewatch it a few times already, but I haven't seen black and white yet. Yeah.
Awesome movie. All right, cool. So that ends father-daughter, which I think a considerable more number of movies.
More than man-woman, but that doesn't mean that either of them are up to where they should be.
Yes, there should be more.
There should be more.
Okay, cool. So let's go with Man-Woman. What do we have? Ant-Man and the Wasp. End category.
That's about it.
That's about it. No,
you had Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
I don't know why I even brought that up. Apart from bringing Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie together, and then subsequently Jennifer Aniston out of the picture, which is also sad. Yeah. But apart from that, there's nothing else of consequence that happened with that movie.
Nope.
It was a bad movie.
It was quite.
But it was Man-Woman.
Mediocre.
What are the other Man-Woman movies that we know of? You said Shrek. Shrek 2.
Shrek, yeah, but they're ogres. Does that count?
Ogre, male and female. There's no ogre and ogrette.
So in Shrek 1 was all about
ogre,
man ogre,
ogre, and ogrette.
And in Shrek 2 she went full ogre. In Shrek 2 she embraced the ogrette in her.
Yeah.
And then they were kind of on level pegging. They ogred together. The plot does revolve around Shrek more than her, but
yeah.
As far as like ogring,
no, I think there's enough like storyline for both of them.
I can't remember too much.
Yeah, nobody cares about the Shrek franchise.
But what I'm getting at is that they equally ogred together.
What are the other ones on the list?
That's a
no. We Bonnie and Clyde. Sure. Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Well, I mean, we're not talking about all I need in this life of sin is me and my girlfriend. Remember? Bonnie and Clyde 03, the track by Jay-Z and Beyonce. What? And by the way, that's not a good representation of Man Woman, because that was a Jay-Z track feat Beyonce. It was not like the Carters, which is what they've released right now. It was not ape shit, y'all. That's the name of the single, which is quite bad.
Wasn't Crazy in Love a feat as well?
It was a feat, but it was a feat of Jay-Z was the feat.
Jay-Z feated?
Yeah, he feated.
Okay.
But so even that is a bad example. Even basically Jay-Z and Beyonce took until 2018 to have an album together.
To Man Woman.
Yeah, because there was a Man album. There was Watch the Throne. There was a Kanye and Jay-Z album even before there was a Jay-Z and Beyonce album. So what has that got to
going off the heels of Ant-Man and the Wasp? I brought this up in said episode about Ant-Man and the Wasp. Hank Pym and Janet have a 6 days, 7 nights moment. What about 6 days, 7 nights?
Wasn't that Harrison Ford and somebody else?
Harrison Ford and somebody else. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're Man Moment.
But Romancing the Stone, Michael Douglas movie, which has, I can't remember in it. See, if you can't remember the name of the female lead, it's not Man Woman. Then it's just Man Feet Woman.
But it's
also Crazy in Love.
But it's also Harrison Ford.
Sorry, it's a. Yeah.
You're lucky if you remember the guy's name next to Harrison Ford.
No.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's because of the system. That's the way the system was set up.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a system. It's a systemic problem, right?
Yeah.
That we gave men more importance, and that's why we don't. Right. We won't remember a name next to Harrison Ford's name. Yeah. I don't even know who was in Blade Runner 2049.
Absolutely.
I do. It was Ryan Reynolds? No.
The ugly duckling. The not so ugly duckling.
Ryan Gosling.
Yep.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. There we go.
Man, all right. There need to be more Man-Womans.
We said we came up with some more names before this.
We came up with those are like, we're pulling at straws right now.
Oh, yeah. They were not good examples, but there were some. And this is just in our realm of, this is just a pop culture category, right? Mm-hmm. We're not talking about generally. There are man-woman movies. There's You've Got Mail, which is the greatest man-woman movie of all time.
Yeah. We're not
and When Harry Met Sally. Well, why wasn't it called When Sally Met Harry, huh? Huh? Is it just another man-feed woman? God, we've unearthed something here, man. And woman. Yeah. Why is this podcast just a man podcast? Janam, you need to be in this podcast. There needs to be a man-woman. We need more women as a representation, not in any other way. All right. Great. This is a great episode. Please let us know what man-woman man-woman iterations of films that you know and that we do not. Let us know at Geek Fruit HQ. Bye, you nerds. Bye, Jishnu.
Okay.
Every week comes a show where 3 people come together to tell you about stuff they like. A movie, a TV show, a book, and other stuff. Tune in every Monday on the IVM Podcast app to IVM Likes. Batman approves this message. Thank you, Batman.
Hello there, my name is Naveen Narona, and as a gay person in India, I get asked a lot of stupid questions.
Beta, is it LGBT or eligibility?
How do 2 men procreate?
Bro, is Grindr better than Tinder or what?
We answer all these questions and much more on my podcast, Keeping It Queer, where I talk to individuals from the LGBT community in India and learn about their personal stories. Catch all the episodes on the IVM podcast app or any other podcasting app you like. Till then, keep it queer.